Good morning. Welcome to the Sandos Caracol Eco Resort in Playa del Carmen. And so we're staying here for a week, and we've actually enjoyed good parts of the resort that you'll see later in the video. If you are a family coming here for an experience close-up, seeing wildlife and lots of wildlife, this is the resort for you. If you're a foodie looking for a romantic resort, maybe not so much. But we during the week we were here, we started to refer to the resort as a more of a theme park than a resort. Okay, so this is the resort. So if you're not used to a resort that has near 1,000 rooms, it's pretty big. And so we're gonna flip around here and show you. We stayed up here in the Select Club, which is the adults only section. And towards over here, this is the lobby area, and we moved towards the beach. This area is the eco area, and it has the water park and a lot of the trails. To the north here, or to the, I guess, yeah, that would be north, there's the Mayan Ruins. And so I'd say most days we were here, we averaged 20,000 steps a day. The lowest number we had, actually every day was over 20,000, with the exception of one day where we did about 10,000 steps. Getting around, the restaurants are in here and over in this section here, and there's a private restaurant in the adults only section.
One of the great things about the resort is there's a number of cenotes right on the grounds, and this one here up near the front of the lobby is I think it's the largest cenote, and it is quite amazing. You can swim in it. You have to have a thorough washing off before you get in. Any sunscreen, any moisturizers, whatever they want to wash off before you get in the cenote. But it is quite amazing. You have to wear a life jacket for safety, probably insurance reasons, but it's pretty easy to find really large fish, and there's a number of turtles that live in here as well. And so that was kind of a worthwhile experience on its own. I mentioned earlier that we were doing about 20,000 steps a day, and that got from our Fitbit watches. But throughout the resort, there's kind of the usual pathways between buildings. But the great thing about this resort is there are almost like hiking trails through the jungle, as well as hiking trails through the mangrove. So it is quite the experience just even walking around. Now we're walking here around the restaurants, and I had mentioned earlier that this is not necessarily a location for foodies. A couple of the restaurants, for example, the Brazilian steakhouse was amazing. The La Riviera was also amazing. Now, we had seen on the Facebook groups that the Los Liros in the upscale privileged area or whatever was the best restaurant. It was not bad, but we were not impressed. And again, we had a T-bone steak there, which I think in Mexico they do amazing flank steak. Don't know if T-bone is the way to go. Anyways, the Mexican was a little disappointing. The Italian was pretty good. The desserts in the Italian were amazing. But overall, not our favorite foodie type resort. As you can see through the video, there is a ton of wildlife. The quates, they're spelt like Cody, but it's quate, all over the place. There's deer, donkeys, lots of birds. There's peacocks and peahens all over the resort. And the spider monkeys are amazing. You have to see the spider monkeys. And it seems that when they are feeding the deer in the deer enclosure, all the spider monkeys and coati from the resort seem to gather, waiting to get some scraps. So if you go there maybe after breakfast, it is worth it. Here's the suspension bridge, beautiful area to walk through, and here is another cenote. There's a number of cenote with little waterfalls, so it is quite a visually kind of stunning, just out of, off the pathway from your room. This area really got our attention when we were booking the event, because we thought we might take our grandchildren to this resort at some point. Great play area for smaller kids, and you can see in the backdrop that there's some water slides that, as you can see walking up the stairs, not just little kids, teenagers and adults were actually using this area. So nice play area, great for the kids.
Oh, are you looking at yourself in the mirror? Very cool.
Another cool thing about this resort is they run a cat rescue. So they rescue cats and they feed the cats, and they live on the resort. And you see them around the pathways. You don't see them too much in the restaurants. The Riviera, we actually had a couple visitors during our dinner, but it was pretty cool. Overlapping with our stay at the resort was the Day of the Dead as a holiday. So the resort goes all out for this, the festivities, and you can see here some of the setup during the day, the live activities and the parade really happen in the evening. So you'll see that here. This is the parade through the resort, but they really go all out, and it was a great time. And throughout here, you can see that actually a number of the staff members who would actually be working in the restaurants or whatever in the day were actually in this parade. So it was kind of cool. During the festivities, the resort did a great job actually creating opportunities for guests to become fully engaged.
little baby one.
Now on the resort, they encourage you not to feed the wildlife, particularly coate. Um, we saw a couple people actually trying to feed the coate, and if you see one and lean down to feed them something, you are guaranteed that like 50 are going to show up. And so they're very friendly creatures, and but they do apparently carry rabies, so you don't want to be scratched or bitten by one, which they wouldn't do on purpose, but yeah, you never know. And here are the spider monkeys. Again, this one here is a mother and her baby, and again they're getting ready for the deers to be fed. Again, as you can see, there's lots of wildlife on the resort, and we'll leave it to you to decide. But if you're part of a family, you might want to bring your kids here to see
I thought you wanted
and
something to eat.
have close experiences with the spider monkeys
Oh, here
and the
comes another
coates.
one of your buddies.
This is a peahen who was looking
buddy.
into our window in the morning, and when we opened the door to have a look at him, 5 more friends showed up. So up live and
There's a
personal
good
with
boy.
the wildlife. I'll give you a quick tour of our room. The rooms are fairly basic. We upgraded to the adults only area, which was worth it for the adults only pool and a restaurant, because we ate once at the main buffet and then not again through the trip. Not the best gourmet experience. So having the adult restaurant, as you see here, this is the pool, and right beside the pool is the adult restaurant, and that was worth it. The staff there were amazing. And also here's Playa del Carmen. We actually walked down to Playa del Carmen on the beach. So from the resort, we just started walking south, and we knew Playa was a couple kilometers down the road. And it took maybe about an hour and 15 minutes to get to the edge of kind of the hotel zone. I mean, theoretically, we are in Playa del Carmen at the resort, but you're kind of out from the Fifth Avenue and the main drag, and so that was a bit of a nice walk. Again, an hour and 15. If you're a big walker, that's not a lot. If you're not a walker, that is probably fairly rigorous, but it was worth the jaunt down. And I hate it when I see a video and you don't see the gym. So here is the spa, which is attached to the gym. Always want to know what the resort's gym looks like, and it was a pretty well stocked gym in Sandos, and the equipment was all in pretty good shape. It was pretty good working shape. Sometimes you go to a resort and not a lot of people are using the equipment, so it gets in disrepair, but this equipment was pretty good. You had to wear a mask. Kind of during our trip, we noticed sometimes people were really diligent with that and sometimes not. Anyways, so on the thumbs up side of this resort, the Mayan Ruins that you see here, the animals and wildlife were thumbs up, and the pools and slides were very cool. On the thumbs down side, that we weren't so impressed. The dining was not amazing, and we also upgraded to the adults only, partly and mainly so we could access Wi-Fi in the room, which was free. but we weren't able to connect to the Wi-Fi once while we were in our room. We had to go to the lobby to get any kind of Wi-Fi. The cellular service was not actually great either, so using roaming was not ideal, which surprised us in a resort in Mexico. Haven't seen that in a long time. Anyways, we had a great time, and we'll let you decide for yourself, but the wildlife was cool.